Going on with the 49ers as well. And as we do every single Thursday right here on Willard and Dibs, a chance to hang out with the great Mike Silver all over the NFL for years, and now with a column at the San Francisco Chronicle. Now, how's Colorado Springs? Are you breathing okay? What's going on out there?
Yeah, altitude acclimation. I got to get acclimated for Cal Stanford weekend with my ridiculous college crew and a lot of other.
Right.
It's a very challenging physical test, and it is also very cold here. So I'm hoping for a nice day in the low 60s on Saturday.
Hang in there, and I'll probably see you out and around Berkeley. And Mike, can you believe it's been 40 years since the play, almost to the day?
Well, as someone who attended it, that freaks me out even more. And yeah, can I believe it? I don't know. I mean, I'll be drinking with two of my kids this weekend, so I guess depends how you measure time. But yeah, it's all been a blur. But I was a high school senior who kind of randomly got to go to that game. Ended up going to school there. Met a lot of great people, including my future wife. Our daughter's a graduate, so it's been a wonderful, wonderful 40 years. But we get up for big game, whether it's going to be an epic finish or a dismal defeat. And I'm just excited that we got to experience last year's, because that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, beautiful. By the way, when you are with your kids, what is your drink of choice?
I don't know.
Okay.
I try to stick with beer, man. You know where you stand with beer, and you can only get so much in you before you fill up. But I'm. By the way, I will be very alert during the game. I'm not one of those people who goes too hard Saturday morning. I want to focus on every play and either melt all over the place or enjoy it thoroughly. So whatever they hand me if we win.
There you go. He's Mike Silver. He doesn't always drink beer, but when he does, he prefers Cal victories. All right. Is Odell Beckham going to be a 49er? What's going on here, Mike?
Well, aren't I the guy who said no to McCaffrey and then it happened? So I'm not going to say no, but last year, one reason he went to the Rams was they really showed him a lot of love. They made him feel really special. The Cowboys are trying to do that publicly right now, and we'll see if that game plan works. It's kind of believed that Odell has wanted to sit back and pick his situation and ideally be on a team that can make a run for it, as the Rams did last year. The Rams would not seem to be in a great position for that. The Packers, who were generating a lot of buzz, not as much, although maybe they got it rolling with that win over the Cowboys. So there's a lot of talk about the Bills, the Chiefs, but certainly if you're looking at that metric, the 49ers would be an enticing situation. And look, there's only one ball to go around, and they run the ball a lot. On the other hand, trying to fathom him in that offense already with all the skill talent they have and the way Jimmy's playing, that could be amazing.
Yeah, that would be fantastic, but there's already a sentiment among some that there already isn't enough footballs to go around. Do you get that sense with this Niner offense, especially the way Elijah Mitchell kind of got the lion's share of the carries late in the game? Do you think that this Niner team will have that percolate to the surface?
As long as they win, no. But if, let's say they're 5-7, then yeah, I think you'll start. I don't know how surface it'll get. I'll do my best, of course. But I think it'll be a thing if they lose, and if they win, if it's a thing, it'll be squelched. People won't voice it because nobody really wants to be that person. If they can win games with Christian McCaffrey not being explosive and Debo not doing his thing and Kittle not getting targeted a lot, and they're still winning, I think everyone will get over it. But if they start to have the kind of bad losses they had in the first half of the season, and obviously they didn't come out roaring out of the gates against the Chargers either, then yeah, that's a thing.
Mike Silver with us, Willard and Dibs, 95.7 The Game. You mentioned the sentence, Debo not doing his thing. Have there been any conversations about that? What do you see? Like right now, his open rate and his catch rate, if you want to dive into analytics, are not very good coming off of signing a major deal. How do you think the Niners feel about Debo's season so far?
That's a good question. I don't know how Debo feels about it either. I'm trying to get at both in the near future. But, yeah, I think it just depends how you look at it. One reason Debo was so insistent upon getting paid now and possibly getting traded, which what he wanted in the offseason, was that, I think he looked at the situation and just said, man, I'm getting used up here, and I'm willing to do it as a team guy. I will run it. I will, run hard after the catch. I will be a guy who's going to be banged up a lot. But, I need my money to, and Kittle said this when he was fighting for his contract. He told people close to him, look, I want to be able to not worry about how I play. I want the peace of mind where I can go out there and run through people and, crave contact. And if it bangs me up and I don't get another deal after this, so be it. So I think if you're Debo, there's a similar sentiment. So my belief is that once he got the contract, hopefully that eased his peace of mind and he's not freaking out about lack of targets and all that. Are the 49ers upset about it? I mean, look, they paid him. Nobody's holding a gun to their head when they pay these guys, right? They paid Debo, they paid Kittle. I'm sure that Kyle and some coaches at times have griped about certain players and they're not doing this and, oh, man, he makes so much money. But you know what, man? You guys paid the money. So I hope the 49ers aren't down on Debo because we've seen the effort he gives and his willingness to be a team guy is what turned around last season.
And he's a difference maker with the ball in his hands. We know that. Jimmy Garoppolo has been a breath of fresh air again coming back this year. And if he goes on a deep run, there's a lot of talk that maybe he sticks around next year. What would that I mean, that's what I'm saying, Mike, but what would that mean in terms of the team and the salary cap?
Well, I wrote a column about this when he came back, and it quoted the hip-hop song Money, Power, Respect,
oh, yeah.
like kind of graphically. And look, they might want Jimmy back. I'm not saying that they won't want him back. It depends how far they go, but Jimmy's got the power now, finally. Instead of like, oh, hey, Jimmy, we can look around and maybe replace you with someone, and we'll let you know, and we can always just cut you. Now it's, hey, you can't tag me. I'll maybe look around, and you guys, while I'm looking around, might have to see other options evaporate. So, yeah, I mean, this will be a great problem to have for everybody. That's probably a Super Bowl winning Jimmy that I'm talking about. But, yeah, if they want Jimmy back, Jimmy might be like, yeah, okay, I'll keep that in mind. Let me look around. I do believe this. Probably he's gone after this year, and you cannot go into next season with Trey Lance as option A and the only option, right? Just because you haven't seen enough and he's now coming off an injury and it's only year 3, you're going to want Trey Lance to step up and be that guy next year. That's your plan, but you better have a plan A too. And, whether that's a veteran probably or maybe somebody that you've identified as an up-and-coming person who's been in the league a few years, hasn't had a shot, or a big-ticket free agent signing, probably not. But they're going to have to come up with some sort of other scenario besides Trey Lance heading into next year. And again, if things go really well this year, these are all good problems to have.
Fascinating. Mike, is there not even a tinge of a Draymond Green sort of a factor going on with Jimmy? And here's what I mean by that. He's long been thought to be at his best self only if he's with the Warriors. Is there that with Jimmy? Is the thought around the league that, yeah, he's okay, but it's kind of a concoction of the 49ers, no?
I mean, I think Jimmy would have easily found a new home enthusiastically if he hadn't had the shoulder surgery.
Yeah.
And he's playing really well right now. I wrote about it off the Sunday night game. Those third down throws are big time throws. We know he's not perfect, and people are fond of pointing that out. But I think he's been a top 10 quarterback this season. I think if you look at everything and what's gone on, he's an NFL top 10 quarterback, and that could get better as the season goes on.
Arizona beat him twice last year. What is troublesome about this matchup? Is it the fact that maybe Colt McCoy will start and not Kyler Murray?
I don't know, man. I went to that Arizona game last year that dropped them to 3-5 with Colt McCoy playing. They looked lifeless. I wrote them off after seeing that. I was like, well, they're done. And obviously that was premature. But, yeah, I don't know. They have struggled in the Shanahan era with Arizona in all different incarnations. And I'm not exactly sure why. You know, they've obviously had a lot of problems with the Seahawks, too. That makes more sense to me. That wasn't a problem in the first game this year. And they've had a lot of success against the Rams, which we've talked about a lot. But, yeah, I don't know why they've struggled against Arizona, but if they are who they believe they are right now, and they're certainly all in based on the McCaffrey trade, et cetera, if they're that team, they'll roll this team in Mexico. And I know they're going to be acclimated to the altitude because they're spending all this time in Colorado Springs and making me acclimate to the conditions for my important test on Friday, Saturday, and possibly Sunday if the axe remains in Berkeley.
Man, Mike, good luck with a hell of a week. So it's Colorado Springs, then back home for the big game, and then do you go? Are you going to Mexico?
I'm actually not going to Mexico.
Okay.
We are sending Ann Killian. I would call her. I don't know if you can go. Can you go La Jefe? Can you feminize? I don't know. My Spanish isn't good enough, but she's the queen, and we need to get her out there too. So Ann's going to take that one, and I'll get him back in Santa Clara.
Okay, all right, perfect. Well, Mike, as always, thank you so much. Great stuff. Great to have you.
Thanks, you guys. Go Bears!
Okay, there he goes. Mike Silver, live from Cal headquarters in Colorado Springs.